Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is greyBTC, and in this video I will be walking you through my journey in Zambia, where I have spent 3 weeks so far and counting. You might ask, why are you doing this? It's because I am on a journey of exploring business opportunities in Africa, and Zambia is country number 1. So if you're a hustler and hungry like I am, and you want to be part of this journey, be sure to subscribe to the channel right now. And also remember to follow me on other platforms, TikTok, Instagram. I post on those platforms each and every day. So let's dive deep into Zambia. I'll show you my explorations, the business opportunities, and also just enjoying the leisure that the hidden gem that is Zambia has to offer, because it is a hidden gem. Since I've been here, I'm like, why the hell isn't everybody moving to Zambia or setting up a business or just enjoying life? It's amazing. So I started off my trip in Manchester, United Kingdom, where I went out to watch the game between Manchester City and Bayern Munich. And guys, so the plan today is to go watch a football match in Manchester. But I have work to do, so I don't want to drive there. I just want to take the train. That's the best thing about London. And then we can work as we go. Now, when I was buying this ticket, I don't know if there is any sort of difference between the coaches, so I'm just going to jump onto the first one. All right, guys, so made it to Manchester. Now an Uber to the hotel. It's like almost 5 already, and the VIP at the stadium opens at 6, and I plan to eat there, so I hope I make it on time. Alright guys, made it at the match. The seats are not filled in because we have an hour to go before the game starts. Halftime, and it's Manchester City 1 and Bayern 0. So this is according to plan, and I put 5 grand on this game on Twitter. So if you following me, you will see that this is more likely to be a successful bet. And after that, I went into London, and then from London, I was able to fly directly to Lusaka. Now, I was able to fly with an airline called Rwanda Airline, which I've never done it before, but I do know that it is a national airline of Rwanda, the country, and I love Rwanda and what they're doing over there. So I was like, hey, why don't I support the Rwanda national airline? So I did that. Incredible experience, and the trip was long, was about 8 hours, but I didn't even feel that long because I was busy, and then I was tired, then I slept. The next thing you know, we had one leg stop in Rwanda, and then immediately after an hour, I was down in Lusaka. So I started off spending some time in Lusaka, obviously, and then I drove all the way to Livingstone, but also I flew on a helicopter all the way to Chongwe. So I made sure that the first week was spent on the most important things, the work. I also came here because I have a project going on. My company, Crypto University, with CGU and with the Ministry of Technology in Zambia, we're doing a hackathon to train a lot of young people on cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence. So the first week was really focused on that, and it was an incredible experience. So many bright minds and hungry, and they have the government support, especially if you're an entrepreneur like myself. It's a type of place and energy that charges you up to want to do more. So I spent the first week getting done with the hackathon. During the same week in Lusaka, I also had the opportunity to explore the real estate market, and also I had the time to actually learn more about the stock market in Zambia, because believe it or not, Zambia's stock market is the best performing market in Africa in 2021 and 2022. Very, very important. So I learned a little bit about that. I met a few entrepreneurs in the tech space, but also in the media, which are all regions or areas of business that are booming. And also, speaking of media, I was actually interviewed at one of the local privately owned media houses here. It was at a massive mall, and I went there to do an interview, and I met Anita Posh, who is really known in the Bitcoin space. She interviewed me about 3-4 years ago. She's based in Zimbabwe and also in Europe, but then it was the first time for us to meet. We went to this interview because we were being interviewed about blockchain and cryptocurrency, which a lot of people are more excited about here. And the studios were really good. I mean, I've been to so many different African countries, and so many times you even go to these interviews and places like that, the infrastructure in Zambia is next level. I would tell you that. If I think of it with the level of expectations that I had, right? Even the roads are so big, no potholes, very clean and very quiet. Obviously, during peak hours, you also get traffic, but the traffic isn't as bad as so many other cities. The malls in Zambia are so big, like there are malls everywhere now. More, and it's where most of the business activities are taking place. If you're coming from a different place, you're able to find all sorts of food, all sorts of supplies that you might need. I don't eat gluten, and I have my own special kinds of food supplies that I like to get. I am able to find them at these malls because they have all these big stores. You got all the KFCs, the Debonairs, and all these big fast food joints that you can always get from all the other cities. Coffee, Starbucks, everything, man. Zambia is lit, I'll tell you that. Anyway, back to business. So what struck me the most in terms of business is how determined and hungry the entrepreneurs are in Zambia. And also they're getting a lot of support from the older generation, which is something that I haven't seen in so many African countries. When you exploring the business landscape, and if you go to tech, it's always young people and almost no support from the older generation. Here, what you see is different. The leadership is still older people, but they're still leading. They're leading from the front, but they're letting the young people to decide what kind of future they want to build. Another thing that I also discovered in the world of business in Zambia is that there is no venture capital model. In fact, the sources of capital mostly that are well known to, say, the majority of people are basically informal, like, loans and small-time loans with high interest. But the banks are very conservative, and you also don't really have a fully fledged, established venture capital model. So if you have money and you're in venture capital, this is another interesting place that you can look into. Which takes me to my next point. Other African countries, including Nigeria, Malawi, and so many others, they have one big challenge that makes it so difficult for people to invest in. I met with people in the world of energy, gas, and sustainable development. They have money to invest, but they find it difficult to invest in other African countries, but they're able to invest in Zambia because they have a good currency. It's basically 1-to-1 to the rand right now, roughly. But also, they do not have a shortage of forex reserves. They have US dollars here. Whereas in Nigeria, for example, you struggle to take money out of the country because the liquidity for US dollars has basically completely dried out. Another important factor for all you business guys out there and traders like myself is that here you have no capital controls. In South Africa, capital controls basically are the name of business. Makes it harder for anyone out there to be able to do anything. You can invest money, but to take it out, it's very difficult. You have to go through so many checkpoints. Right now in Zambia, no exchange controls, which means you can do business, take money out, bring money in, no problem. Now, let's talk about the leisure side of things. The soft life, right? How is Zambia like if you want to live the soft life? I can tell you right now, you have to go to Zambia. In fact, I had the opportunity to drive from Lusaka to Livingstone on a weekend, which was a hell of an experience. Good roads, everything, no problems. And it was a drive about 5 to 6 hours. I had the best time of my life. So you see these waterfalls in Victoria Falls. It's attributed to him as the man who discovered it, David Livingstone, which is an absolute false. I managed to basically enjoy the edge of the Victoria Falls. My life was on the line. I could see the line, but then it was also the most thrilling experience. You heard of the Victoria Falls and how amazing they are. There is the Zimbabwe side and the Zambia side. I will tell you right now, the best is the Zambia side. It's where the falls are actually off. I don't know what to tell you, but this is an experience of a lifetime. You're never gonna, I can explain it to you. You have to come here. Just have to be here. Livingstonia Island in Zambia. These guys will show you around. My life, our life was on the edge. Literally and figuratively. It was in the hands of this man. These guys, they had our lives in their hands. If they let go, we were dead. And also, I stayed at several hotels, my favorite being Radisson Blue Hotel in Livingstone. Out here in Zambia, just checked into my hotel, trying to show you guys what it's like, how beautiful it is, because it's worth it, man. Is that piece of photography over there on the wall? It's immense. And they also welcome you with some healthy, nice fruits. You see, when you're in Europe, they basically give you some snacks, but it's usually unhealthy shit. So in Zambia, they give you healthy snacks. I'm so calm right now. Like my anxiety levels are at zero, and I don't even know how to explain this in words. In fact, on all the hotels that I stayed in around that area, they have wild animals roaming around. When I arrived on the first hotel, which is an Anterra, it's the same hotel brand that I'm used to in Abu Dhabi as well. That area, we had the giraffes just walking. Upon arrival, giraffes were just passing by the reception, going to the other side. We had zebras within the same vicinity, basically animals within reach. And that was the best vibe. I don't even know how I can explain it to you guys. And then a student of mine from Crypto University, who also ended up becoming a friend of mine, decided to join me all the way from the UK, and he came down and we enjoyed Livingstone together. I mean, you're driving to the hotel, on the way to the hotel, on the runway, literally you get a bunch of elephants just passing by. It was like a vibe.
Look at the size of that one. That was a big one.
We went to the lion walk, walked a couple of lions and petted them. It was beautiful. And also we did a lot of water things, as you guys can see. It was a hell of a time. The most important thing here at this hotel or around Livingstone in general, the internet connection is superb. Because one of my worries as a digital nomad or someone who's always working online, at least who relies on the internet to make money, the biggest challenge that I always have in Africa has always been internet connection. The more you leave the cities, the internet is bad, basically. But in Zambia, in Livingstone, they have the best internet, I can tell you. So if you're a digital nomad, you're looking for a place to go and stay, enjoy nature, and the hotel is basically next level hotel, the one we stayed at, especially Radisson, is beautiful, amazing. It's a brand new hotel. You can stay there for a month or two. You have your internet, you can work from there, and then you go for a walk in the evening, for a run, and you go see the animals. It's a different level of luxury. That's all I can explain to you guys. I mean, I've lived in many cities that are extremely luxurious, including Dubai, but the experience that I've had here is not something that I can compare. It's a different type of luxury that if you never seen it, if you've never been to Zambia, Livingstone, you're just never going to understand it. After Livingstone, I drove back to Lusaka, and then 2 days after that, I took a helicopter to a place called Chongwe. And I stayed at a lodge called Time and Tide. This is, guys, next level beauty, and I don't even know how to explain it, man. Like, this was I think the best luxury experience I've ever had was at Chongwe, because it's in the jungle along the Zambezi River. It's called Chongwe, and for you to get to that place, you basically have to fly one of these charter flights, or you need to take a helicopter. It's in the middle of nowhere. So this is the plane that I'm taking back to Lusaka. It's very tiny. But obviously I still had the internet because I was using Starlink. It's possible now for you to be able to disconnect from the world, go live in the jungle, and still being able to be connected. I was downloading 5 gigabytes file in like 6 minutes with Starlink. Amazing, right? So I stayed in that place. You literally, guys, you're staying within meters with animals. At Time and Tide in Chongwe, we stayed in tents. That is the accommodation there, but it's the best, well done, well-made tent with beautiful interiors you can ever imagine. And then in front of you is the Zambezi River, and you've got hippos. You can hear the hippo sound. You've got the elephants passing by. You've got the crocodiles. In fact, they were not allowing me, or they don't allow people to walk by themselves, even to go to your tent, because it's a little bit of a distance to walk to your tent, and it's in the bush. So you might just start walking and you come across a lion over there, or maybe a hyena or whatever. So the guards have to walk you through to your tent. That's how intense it is. But at the same time, it's just a thrilling experience. They have activities there. You wake up in the morning, you can go for a game drive, have coffee in the middle of the jungle with elephants and passing you by. And in the evening, you would have what they call bush dinner. So you also go deep in the bushes. They burn meat, you eat. At the same time, you have hyenas around you that are aiming to come and grab the remains. It was that kind of level of experience. You got kayaking. So I was like, man, this is the best life. It basically woke me up, be like, yo, it makes the cities look crazy, because to me, that felt like that is the real lifestyle that, with everything considered, I would prefer to live like that. If I was able to make money, which I can now that I can make money on the internet, disconnect from the world and live out there in the wild with the animals, I would prefer that, because you know, you have no traffic there. All you have is animals and green and everything, good food, organic and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, this is the life that we should be aiming for. So words to Africans out there, especially Africans. A lot of Africans leave this place, whether it's Zambia or any other country like it, and go to UK or to America, Canada, whatever, to work, to make money, just so that they can go on vacation on countries like these. Almost like you're turning back home for holiday, right? Because if you look at the UK, a lot of people in Europe save money just so that they can come and experience this, because you can never see this kind of experience anywhere. So I think this is now the age where a lot of us are not going to be going out of their way, going to America and to the UK and to Canada to join the 9-to-5 warjack clockwork kind of style. Now we can make money online and get to enjoy the luxury that we have that's natural to us. So to me, this trip was the most meaningful because I learned a lot. I was like, man, everything that I want, the best of life, the best life can offer to me is already here in Africa. So why not stay here, or at least have a base here, invest in Africa and build infrastructure around it. Now, back to business. One important lesson that I learned when it comes to business in Zambia, the processes of company setup work. It's not as straightforward as I thought. It's not as, say, electronic as the South African or the Dubai process is, or in the UK. It's a little different, and it's a lot more mechanical than I thought. So what I've learned so far is that if you're gonna come here to set up a company, it's better to have a local do those kind of processes for you. It's very cheap anyway, but you need someone to navigate through the processes, or they might also just tell you that you need a local address or a local director for you to set up your company. So if you can get some kind of a secretary or an agent to do it for you, then they can use their information to set it up. You are required to have a local director, but a director doesn't have to own shares. So this is a director who does not own any stock in your company. So that's how you can set up, and the process is very simple. And lastly, this is my overall take on Zambia. Zambia is a booming, promising economy for a number of reasons. It has the natural resources, it has the minerals, and most importantly, it has the social fabric. I mean, the people here are very nice. It's very, very safe. Nobody is warning you about, oh, don't go there, don't do this, or don't walk with your phone, because it's really safe here. Nobody bothers you. And I think because of these reasons, that's why Zambia is booming, but it is a hidden gem and not many people know it. And it will be too late by the time a lot of people wake up or the opportunities have been sucked up. So if you're somewhere else and you're looking to invest in Africa, or you're looking for opportunities in emerging markets, I think Zambia is something that you should not sleep on. Come visit and check it out yourself and see what kind of industry you might want to go into. I didn't go into so many industries so far, but I will be doing, I'm still here as I record this video, so I will be doing a lot more videos. I still have to go check out the mining industry and all that kind of stuff to explore a little bit more. But another industry that's also booming is the hospitality industry, right? Because as more people are learning about Zambia, the tourism is growing, hospitality is becoming another big thing. Every single time I invite people over to Africa, they're always asking me about the accommodation, what are the hotels like? What is this like? What about cars, rentals? I can tell you right now, the infrastructure in Zambia is so good. You got good hotels, 5-star, whatever you want, you're going to have it as long as you can afford it. You got good car rentals. You can rent any type of car you want. Well, maybe not Dubai level, but like you can get the good cars that are suited for this kind of environment. When I am in Africa, I prefer to drive 4x4s for safety. And also I always assume in most places that they have potholes and stuff. But in Zambia, you can even drive a small fancy car. You're going to be perfectly fine. So do not worry about infrastructure when it comes to Zambia, because I can tell you right now that Zambia is multiple times ahead of many other African countries when it comes to infrastructure, whether it's roads, hotels, shopping centers or malls, and also just general buildings. It's really amazing here, and the cities are much more cleaner. I've been to Nigeria, Lagos specifically. I will tell you right now that Lusaka is better than Lagos. But I think Zambia should be on your radar, should be your next destination to check it out. Follow me across social media if you want to learn more of my travels, like all the day-to-day stuff that I do when I'm petting the lions or I'm having coffee with the elephants and stuff like that. I'm sharing all this content on TikTok, Instagram, and also on YouTube Shorts. So make sure you're following, you subscribe, you also follow me on Twitter. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video, and peace out.